Chris is supposed to check.
Also, okay, call meeting order. Everybody please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence, please, for deceased members of the fire and security. Welcome to the August meeting of the Board of Fire Commissioners, North Greenwich Fire District Number 1. Bob, if you would, the roll call, please.
Yep. Rich.
Here.
Brian.
Here.
Nick.
Here.
Chris.
Here.
And
Let the record show that Dan is on family vacation, long plan. He owns a vacation home. This was the only week he could get. It's amazing how those things work, but now he is on vacation. So let's see. Public session. So we've opened up a public session at the beginning of meeting for things that are on the agenda. Anybody got any questions or comments on agenda items? Anybody? Hearing, seeing none, we'll move on. District building report. Joe, what do you got to update us on?
Ed and his team were at the fire station on Wednesday of last week,
Outstanding.
and they did like a 4-hour tour. They did measurements inside and outside. They, I think they're just getting all their ducks in a row.
Did they meet with you guys, or it was just they were doing?
It was strictly
Okay.
their session.
You said 4-hour tour until it gets silent.
Yeah, but
So are they still there lost?
they did a you know, a pretty good walkthrough. They had they were serious. They had lasers so they could do all their measurements. Now they didn't use the ruler. They used the laser. They're
Getting down to detail.
Yeah, they were just taking the whole scope of the building, doing a mock-up on the old drawings from previous, because that's still under CAD, and you know that's.
Did he give you any indication when he thought he'd be ready to
No.
go back with the?
No, I mean, I'm thinking. He said it would be shortly, so I'm thinking the end of the month, maybe beginning of September. I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't know how long that kind of takes with them, you know, so.
Okay. I think the big thing is going to be what, you know, the actual layout of
I
that
think
upper
they're gonna
floor.
have some kind of a mock-up for it, yeah, so,
Yeah, then you guys can take a colored pencil to it,
yeah,
make this bigger, make this smaller.
yeah.
We don't need this, we need more of these, kind of thing, you know?
And I'm sure Bob will hear, around the same time I hear, because when Ed sends his, texting or his emails out, he kind of does like a group kind of thing, so.
Good. Any questions or anything to add? I don't have anything either, so any questions for committee? Anybody? Great, thank you. I'm sorry, Bob, did you have anything to add on that? I'm sorry. No, okay. Move on to the president's reports. We'll start with the wine skill report this month. What do you got?
Sure, I have a new membership request for Robert French, who really isn't quite a new member,
No relation.
but he was originally in the department back in the 70s, I believe.
78.
Yep. Left for quite a while, and he's coming back as fire priest.
Cool. All right,
That's
we will take action on that. I'll pass it around for real.
Hey, Rich, we have some documentation to him being around in 2004. So that question you had about LoSAP,
Yeah,
we
well-
have to backtrack that.
We'll have to look at that and see if he had years, how that works. You know, I mean,
You might have to go down to Michelle and just check his records.
he's 77 years old, so I mean,
He could be collecting after this year.
theoretically, it depends what we're gonna have to go back and look at what the records are. I don't know where he falls into the law. I mean, how many years he had, et cetera. There's a lot of moving pieces with regard to that. We'll probably have to seek counsel on that, Terry, when we start to put those pieces together.
We'll figure it out.
Pardon?
We'll figure it out.
Good. Anything else other than a new member?
That's it.
Outstanding. State Steve, what do you got for the appraisals report?
We have a new member proposal, Andrew Galacki. And we also have a facility use request from the Shackleton to use the pavilion on August 20th for a birthday party.
We'll take action on both of them, and I'll start them around so you can take a peek at it. You know that? Yeah. All right, anything else, Steve?
That's all I have.
Approval of prior month's minutes. We've got the last month's minutes for the regular meeting, and we've got minutes in Dropbox and in our folders for the workshop meeting that we held with regard to the long-range plan. Anybody see anything in them that needs correction, addition, deletion? No? They look good to everybody? Is there a motion then for either or both?
I'll make a motion for both.
Motion made to approve both sets of minutes. Seconded by Brian. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? That's done. Treasurer's report. Is Sean with us?
he's gonna be with us soon. Do you wanna,
We'll skip over and go back.
okay,
We'll skip over and go back. Give him a chance to get on there.
Yep.
I did the review of this month's invoices. Bob's got them back. Nothing jumped out at me. They are in Dropbox as usual. Any questions on this month's invoices?
Light month.
Pardon?
Light month.
Yeah, it was actually a very light one. And even I was surprised with the utility usage. They weren't as, I kind of had my fingers crossed when I got to those bills. Of course, the heat now isn't reflected in those bills, so we'll probably get slammed regardless. Is there a motion then to approve those invoices?
resolution?
Oh, I'm sorry, resolution. Spending money.
Make resolution.
Brian makes the resolution. Seconded by Chris. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Rich,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Chris?
Aye. That's approved. Correspondence. Bob, why don't you tell us our correspondence?
Okay, we received our Key Bank FDIC insurance assets ending 7/29/22. Received a check from Dan Garib in the amount of $132.50 for Verizon charges. He was away, international charges he paid. We received the Association of Fire Districts, New York, Fire District Affairs, Fulton for June and July. We received a payment from New York State Department of Homeland Security in the amount of $5,071.72. That was our COVID-19 payment for our expenses. And we also received a training announcement from New York State Association of Fire Chiefs, Beyond the Basics. And I did send that out to the chiefs.
Oh, she's got it. Good. That looked pretty good. I looked at that brochure the other day when you sent us. Any questions on correspondence received? Correspondence sent?
2 letters were sent to the North Greenbush Planning Board. One was on the Regeneron Gate, and the other was for the Best Road subdivision. So the 2 letters. That was
I know,
it.
I know we're going to talk about long-range planning in a little while, but keeping on top of these projects is absolutely, is absolutely one of the imperative little pieces of the long-range plan that we need to stay on top of, because again, a lot of moving pieces, and if we can do something as far as taking some of that, applying some kind of mitigation fees, or going to the town board or the planning board and saying, hey, the fire district is in favor of this, can support this if kind of thing. So those will be important to us as we move forward. All right. Any old business? None in Dropbox. Does anybody have any old business? Hearing seen Sean now?
No.
Okay. Probably get the meeting over in that one.
No, he was getting close.
We got a lot to do.
Yep.
New business, formal acceptance of a long-range plan. First thing listed there. Gentlemen, we've had this plan now for about 2 months. You got a chance to go over it. We've met with the part of the committee and with the chiefs over it, last month, we made some revisions. The spreadsheet reflects, let me pull my spreadsheet up. Thank you.
And I did give all you guys hard copies to make it easier if you needed to.
And that is easier than
Yes.
screen, thank you.
Yep.
Spreadsheet kind of gives us an analysis that takes us out to, actually as far as 2043, which, I mean, I don't think we've ever jumped that far out in a number of years, well, that's that year. One thing that I think that this analysis, we've been, and I don't want to dismiss what was done previously. We've had a apparatus replacement plan that we've been following and we've been trying to stick with. However, that apparatus replacement plan, I don't think reflected a real analysis of what the apparatus was, nor did it, well, and definitely the plan didn't reflect what the potential costs were going to be for doing any of it. It just said, yep, on this year we'd like to buy this, and on this year we'd like to buy that, and this year we'd like to buy that. Didn't look at all at, gee, how much might this cost us? And we now have a plan that does some of that if we were to go through this. So I again thank all that were involved in the authoring this, and I'll turn it over to we'll jump ahead here to long range planning under Brian, Nick, and Mark's not here. Brian, Nick, what do you got data on that? What do you want to say on it? Stop looking at each other. You go first.
Or I can go if you want. You can go. Oh, it's regarding the plan. I mean, again, I do have concern. I see Rich now is pushed farther out for the truck at the end of 2030. I know we're going by the 25-year lifespan, but just looking at between 2028 and 2030, that's a lot of money bundled up right in one spot. And Sean's not here to ask. My question to him would be, realistically, if something dies sooner than you're replaced, you know, that's a concern there. And do we want them that bunch together? Because that's kind of the sticking point, at least in my mind, having that stuff that close together. So I mean, we're spending a lot of money on the truck so far to maintain, and I don't know if it's gonna make 5 years. And so that was a Rescue 9 that we start getting engine issues to see the other day it happens again. Optimistic, I know, but again, Sean's I really talk about the money part of it. It's worried about everything being that bunched up, that close together.
Yeah, we're by the looks of it, we're replacing in 3 back-to-back years, the truck, Rescue 9, and then 9-6. And we're also in 2 of those 3 years replacing 2 command vehicles.
And if you go out 5 years, you're looking at my Troy High math, just under $5 million in 5 years.
Yep. A lot of money.
My concern again, that's bunching it up and you tend to get in trouble with things that close together. Now, also, again, Sean's there, so I'm not sure how realistic it would be to spread them out a little bit sooner. I know we can't go and buy a ladder truck dealers, we get a ladder truck or a rescue, whatever. If we already know time, it'd be 2+ years anyway, just because of, you know, delivery times and everything. But so my concern is that's $5 million bunched right in that little window.
Any other concerns,
Brian
comments?
and I are on the same page. Concern we had during the last meeting on it. It's just concern is still there, you know, it's the elephant in the room. It's a lot of money coming up and a lot of things to do. And, you know, I know it's a thought that many people don't like, but, you know, I think, you know, we might have to look at, you know, what's this cost of 2 command vehicles over their lifetime? Got 2 of them now. You know, we are a small district, 6 Gs, a lot of maintenance fees, a lot of tires to replace, brakes, and, you know, costs over time, you know. There's really tight, and, you know, I know Sean carries some of the numbers down below of, you know, that hot water heater or something goes wrong in the catch station or, you know, an HVAC unit. Or on top of spending all this money on apparatus, we also make sure we have money to, you know, fix the building if it breaks.
Good point.
Rich, I can maybe help Brian out a little bit with his question. Well, just, yeah, and Sean updated, and he's gonna be on very soon. He's checking in right now, so that he'll be able to get on. But if you go to page 4, which shows you the 2028 financial schedule, and you see down in the bottom, and he didn't make the ledger for every page, so you have to know what that is, but down on the very bottom before, and you guys don't have colored copies, but you're gonna see a negative 464, 466. Okay, so if you were to push something sooner, that's gonna even increase even more to the negative. So, I mean, just understand that, that's, but, so yes, your point about, you know, truck, rescue, another apparatus, it's a lot of money in that span, but if something goes sooner, you're gonna even have a higher deficit in year 2028 and 2029, and then you see how that number grows.
Yeah, my concern is just, I don't know if the truck's gonna make it that long. It's just how much money we're sinking into maintain it.
Right.
And I know once the dust settles, in theory, hopefully, this is a one-off. I mean, I think we're at 27,000 this year, 70-some thousand last year on the truck. Hopefully, with all the money being put into it,
We're buying time.
hopefully, but if we see something happening in 2023, we're still seeing our 60, 70, 80,000 dollars of a ladder truck. You know, break that over, you're looking at $300,000 of maintenance on something. Is it, before you actually go to replace it.
Can I bring into this something really stupid? You have to have a plan, but you don't have to adhere to it, you know, so this is good. And if circumstances change, then you've got the template, you can modify it. So I guess I wouldn't be, I understand the concern about the money, and yeah, unless you have a bake sale or something, I don't know where it's coming from, but things are probably gonna shake out in the next 6 years that alter that schedule. So, I mean, I don't think you should beat yourselves up over, we're not gonna do this in 2028. I mean, you are eons ahead of most every other fire district that I'm aware of on this planet, so just, you know, the fact you've got a plan is.
I look at this as a framework. This is a target of what we'd like to do, where we'd like to be able to be. And I think the next issue that I added to business, which is actually part of the long range planning, is one of the strong recommendations in their call for discussions. It was probably one of the ones they focused in the most when they were talking about the Board of Fire Commissioners, was this appointment of a standing fire district apparatus review committee that will look at this apparatus every year and do an analysis and saying, hey, we can tweak this out a little bit, or we need to think about pushing this in a little bit. Or if we spend this now, it will buy us this time later. And that's what I think we're going to need that committee to do as part of the long range plan. So I think that's a positive, I think. But, yeah, you're right about Ryan and Nick both are right about the fact that there's a big chunk of money coming up there in a 4 or 5 year span. That unless we do something with the tax rate between now and then, or there's another windfall that we're not aware of, we're going to spend a whole lot of money. Rapid succession. Right? So, any other comments on the plan itself? Anybody? Resolution or motion?
Motion done.
Pardon?
Motion to accept the plan.
Just a motion, right?
Next spending.
Yeah, okay, because we're not spending any money in it, but it's kind of a formal activity. So I just want to make sure at this point, then I'll consider a motion to approve the plan as proposed.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Nick. Motion seconded by Chris. Any more discussion on it? Good point. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. We have a plan. And again, so I look at it as a framework, you know, we'll be able to be flexible as we move forward. Establishment of standing apparatus review committee. The parentheses on the new business on the agenda are my notes, and that's what I'm thinking is appropriate. I don't think we should be appointing it this month. I think we should be discussing it and seeing what, you know. Those were my thoughts on how it should be constituted. I figured the 2 commissioners are responsible for apparatus, 1 chief at each station, and then 2 active members for each station, and at least one of them has to be a driver. That you know, kind of battered around this formation of the committee, how it should be. And something to be appointed by the board. I think the recommendations for which chief it would be and who the two members would be, would come from the recommendation, would come from the chiefs. So that's my thought on the formulation of it. Keeps it at a reasonable number. It's not, it's not like you gotta have a moratorium, have a committee meeting. You gotta pick the right people and get down and crawl under trucks and really understand what they're looking at and talk about. So, I think we'll just table that item too. I'd ask Chiefs, any comments on it before we table it? Adam, Nick, or Adam? William, yeah, I'm sitting there looking at him, trying to say Steve, and Steve's sitting next to him. William, Adam, any comments on that, on the formulation of the thing? No. Okay, good with it, all right. Let's muddle it over for the next month and take an action on it. Maybe we can come up with some names to get it started, or at least agree on the formulation of it for next month.
Sean is on.
Pardon?
Sean is
Sean is
on.
on, okay. Hi, Sean, welcome. Let's jump back to, where are we here? Where would Sean be? Sean would be treasurer's report. Well, go ahead, Sean, we can, make sure we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
And now,
Hello? You can hear me now?
yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm at the adjournment part.
At the adjournment part.
Not quite. No, we got about 4 hours before that happens.
Okay. All right, so you should all have a copy of the treasurer's report for the month ending July 31st. And you will see attached to the treasurer's report are the bank reconciliations for the money market and the checking account. The money market account has a reconciled balance of $1,122,378.61 of that amount. $467,080.99 for the general fund. $225,769.85 is capital reserve equipment. $320.65 is for the building. $52,207.13 capital reserve repairs. Money market earned a whopping $9.82 worth of interest for the month. For the year, we have $57.06 worth of interest on that money market account. Checking account was reconciled, excuse me, and the balance on that was $37,977.19, earning 68 cents worth of interest for the month. $7.32 year to date on the checking account. So you'll have copies of the bank statements attached to this cover sheet, and you'll have copies of the bank reconciliations attached, and you'll also have the final part of it would be the actual expenditures to the budgeted expenditures. And we're holding up fairly well.
All right, any questions for Sean on the report? Consider then a resolution, yes, that's for the money, we have to do a resolution to approve the treasurer's report. Okay, motion or resolution made? Second. Resolution seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Rich.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Nick.
Aye.
Chris.
Aye. Hey, Sean, I see you
Yep.
also want to know here about scheduling the budget workshop. Anything you want to say about it?
Just for next month's meeting, if we could start at 6:30, that's what we've done historically. And, I usually send you out the information ahead of time anyhow, and we're able to get through it pretty quickly. So if we can make a motion to do that, I will post it accordingly.
Okay. Consider then a motion. Anybody got questions? Motion made by Nick, seconded by Brian. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Okay, you got your workshop meeting at 6:30 next month.
All right, I will post it. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you still got your transfers,
No,
Sean?
we still
They have that.
here.
Oh.
Thank you. I thought you said-
Bob, I don't have those numbers in front of me,
They
unfortunately.
have everything in front of them,
Okay, so
on the agenda.
Yep, okay, so if you were to look at my actual to budget, last part of the treasury report, the last like 3 pages, you could see we're really tight on, apparatus, excuse me, maintenance. And, we are under budget somewhat on, low SAP, no, what was it, insurance. So I kind of itemized it, I think, on the last page. I'd like to take like 20 to 22,500 of that money and move it from the insurances to the apparatus maintenance, just to modify the budget, just so it's documented, so the CPAs, when they audit us, don't yell at us.
Any questions on moving that money, transferring that money from one category to another? Then consider a motion or a resolution to do that.
Yeah, resolution on that.
Brian? You're making me laugh. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please, on the resolution.
Rich,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Chris.
We're set there. All right, any other questions for Sean? All right, Sean, stick around if you can, but.
Yep.
If you can't,
Yep.
I understand.
Yep, I'll stick around as long as I can. Yep, no problem.
Right.
Thank you.
The next thing on the agenda is the consideration to purchase the Chevy pickup from Denoyer to become utility 9. Chris, can I know many of us are aware of some or all the details. Can you give us a rundown of how this all came about as quickly as it did?
I just happened to be over at the lawyers. They want to look at my truck, but deals don't work. And I inquired about state contracts. Talked to one of my guys that runs our county highway, and they're fairly cheap. And he also said that they were going to be going up. So I was there. I just happened to talk to one of their salesmen. They had one truck left in the lot. Obviously, you guys already know the price, but I want to say roughly it was like 44 for the truck. Coming next month, or beginning of this month, the price of the truck was going to jump $6 grand, upwards to $6 grand just for the truck. That is not even anything else. So we happened to piggyback off to somebody else and saving ourselves $6 grand just on the truck alone. Been back and forth with Rich and some of the other commissioners as well, with Bill from Denoyer on getting quotes for the light package. Bob was also taking care of that, big help on getting the light package and everything else from there. Kind of give us a big ballpark of what we're going to be looking at spending. And not for nothing, but the long range committee plan says 85,000. I think we're going to be what?
That's in actually 2023. Yeah, that was 2023.
Yeah, and we're roughly, I think, what,
58 if we go with justice package, yes.
yeah, so I mean, big savings there. That waiting, who knows, it's just gonna keep going up as time goes on. So I jumped on it, I thought it was a good opportunity.
Yeah, at the very least, first off, I'm very appreciative that you took the time to talk to them about that while you were over there trying to conduct some personal business, give us a head start on this. And quite honestly, I don't think anybody at all foresaw that there were going to be any 2022 chassis left at this late in the season.
Yeah, this was literally the last one we had on the lot.
The fact that we stumbled into it this way and then nobody else walked in with their checkbook before we could have tonight's meeting astonished me. So I don't know that I'm ready to accept. Well, Bob, you did the rundown on, did you do any of the research on the lighting package and the accessory package that they're proposing for the expert?
Well, not a lot, because,
You just saw it.
well, and the fact that you're forming the committee, they're going to be taking a hard look at what they exactly need. Denoyer does have other emergency lighting packages that they have on piggybacks as well. So I think by securing the vehicle, and then if your next action is to put a committee together, then we can start figuring out how that compares to maybe a package that Denoyer offers and see how closely that is to it. I mean, we went off a little bit when we purchased Utility 4.2. We purchased that under a contract also through Denoyer. Everything was on it. So we might still be able to do something similar with Denoyer even after the vehicle's purchased.
Okay.
So my guesstimate right now is it's going to be probably about $20,000 on top of that for emergency lighting, running boards, you know, the spray in liner. You're probably going to be looking at close to 20,000 on top of the 44 is probably what you're going to be looking at.
He's got the spray and liner, and the running boards are part of the original quote. No, they're not.
They're not.
The 44,165 was without it. Then he's got the running boards listed at 1295, spray and liner at 995. Which for full size pickup, that's about right.
Yeah. Right.
So that you might want to do that before it even leaves the dealership.
Correct.
Because it's something we know we're going to do. We know we're going to do. We know we're going to need both of them, and then go from there. This is happening very quickly. I went over the other day and spent a half hour or so, 45 minutes maybe, going through Utility 4.2 bill, because I looked at it a long time ago and was bought. And then the only time I see it now is when I see Jeff Grunrod go by with it, because it's it's going somewhere to see, or it's passing me or something along those lines. I've really taken a good hard look at it since the district took delivery on it a few years ago. So I went over and took another good look at it, so I was kind of familiar with what it was, how it was laid out. And so I've got some ideas based on that, some good ideas based on some of the things I saw, some good things that have been done with it. Some things maybe we'll consider it. As far as just acting on the truck, is anybody opposed to adding the running boards and spray and liner at this point and grab the truck?
Does ours have a spray of liner?
So seems in favor of it. Let's get a resolution then to purchase the Chevy pickup for $44,165, and with the added running boards and liner. Before we do that, Sean, you see any difficulty in this?
Well, Rich, we do have the money in capital reserve, so that's available. And then if you were to look at our apparatus replacement schedule, we are looking at it doing this next year at an estimated cost of $85,000. So, it looks like we could save maybe $20,000 by acting now. So, I don't want to throw the apparatus replacement plan out the window, but it does seem like it might be worth it because we're looking for areas to save money. So.
I don't think we're throwing it out the window. We had planned on it. We
Right.
got a 15-year cycle on it, and 15 years is this year.
Yeah.
So it's just, we said 2023, which would be the 16th year, because nobody figured we were going to get a 2022 chance.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's an opportunity we should probably seize while we can.
All right, then consider a resolution to pick up buy the truck for the $44,165 and add the steps in the line. Resolution by Brian, seconded by Nick. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Rich?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Chris?
Thank you. Got a truck. Establishment and appointment of the Utility 9 Apparatus Committee. I batted this around my head as well, as some of these other things. And I came up, I don't want this to be a huge project. I think this committee has got to be stem to stern complete, no later than, I would say, latest October 1st, and hopefully sooner. If we can pull it off. There's not a lot of work to do here. And most of the work has been done by the committee that designed or Utility 4.2. But we can move forward with that. So I came up with the two commissioners that do apparatus. And at this point, that's myself and Chris. Chief Burkhardt, and then he asked for Assistant Chief Galligan to be on. Then I would say Captain Fleming, Lieutenant Golden, and I've asked Jeff Coonrod to sit on it. Because as I said before, right, the only time I see Utility 9 or Utility 4.2 is when Jeff goes by with it. And I think there's nobody better that can answer the question while we're in a committee about would something work or wouldn't it work with the experience with a virtually identically laid out vehicle. So any opposition or any proposed changes to that committee? Is there a motion then to approve that committee? I'll make the motion. I propose it. Second by Chris. All in favor? Aye. Right, so that's taken care of. Next item, and again, a follow-up item from, I went through that long-range report, pulled out bullets on things we needed to act on. The committee, the long-range planning committee recommended the purchase of copies of NFPA 1911 and 1912 for the department to have as reference material as we move forward with working this apparatus comprehensive apparatus plan. I asked Bob to get quotes for them, and what did I do? Shut my friggin' Dropbox off. I hate it when I do that. Bob, what was the quote on that?
The quote is $144 for PDFs. That's what we did last time. It works out better with PDF because then I can put it on the shared drive and we can send it to whoever you want it, as opposed to the print copy.
I
It's
think it's also searchable.
right. It's searchable, right? So
And
it's,
NFPA 1911 is the inspection, maintenance, testing, and retirement of in-service emergency vehicles. That goes for $81.50. And NFPA 1912 is a standard for fire apparatus refurbishing, which goes for $62.50. And as Bob mentioned, a total of $141. So it's a purchase, so a resolution to approve the purchase of these two refrigerators. Made by Brian,
I'll second.
seconded by Nick. Roll call vote, please.
Rich,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Chris.
Okay. Last thing that I had under new business, again, from the long-range planning report is, and this is something I just want to plant the seeds so we start to think about it, because it's probably something we need to address and stuff down the road. So discussion on the formation of a committee to conduct an integrated evaluation of fire district needs for off-road, water, et cetera. So let's, I don't know if people think about that, but I think we need to look at that as a package. It's certainly probably not one vehicle, but what are we doing? How are we handling it? What are our mutual aid options? What are our in-district options? How should we be handling it? The long-range planning committee kind of touched on it, that we need to look at it. I know we bit this board batted around the idea of a vote previously, and we never did get the a needs analysis that was asked for with regard to that. So this would give us those comprehensive integrated evaluations that we need, not just so we're not just so we know, not just so we have it in our hand, but so that when a taxpayer comes in and says, why are you spending the money on this, or why aren't you spending the money on it? We can say, look, at right or wrong, we did an analysis of this, and this is what we came up with. This is what, if our findings are flawed, please tell us how. But we can't. That puts us in a much better position than saying, well, we thought about it, but we never really did anything. Council, would you agree that with this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you don't have to, ironically, you don't have to make the right decision. You just have to make a thoughtful decision.
Thoughtful decision. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Thoughtful decision. So I'm not prepared to appoint that next month. I don't know if anybody else is, but let's plant that seed. Maybe next month, Bob, you can leave it on there as a tickler, so we, depending on how busy we are next month, we may want to. Actually, next month we got the budget. We're going to probably have the first, at least the first report back from the Utility 9 committee. So we may not want to discuss it again next month, but maybe the month after. Any other new business? Anybody else got any new business? I think I filled that list to Bob. Anybody else got anything? Nothing? All right, chief's reports. President's reports in this order, we'll do chief's reports in this order. Adam, what do you got for Lions Club?
Bill should have the chief's report for July of 2022. 36 alarms for the month, 298 hours, 1,832 total hours for the year. The alarms boil down to 200 fire and 60 rescue. 4 drills were held for the month, 146 hours of drills, bringing our total hours 1,494. Average response time is 4.6 minutes. Average number of staff on the first truck is 4.3. Average number of staff per alarm, 12. For purchases, you should have the fire prevention supplies.
You want to talk about that at all, or?
So those fire prevention supplies are encompassing the daycares, nursery schools, Gardner Dickinson, Little Red, and also incorporating Blooming Grove Senior Housing and St. Jude Apartments for our senior housing fire prevention goals.
And here's my, I love the job that both departments do for fire prevention. But this number is getting high. And again, we've been talking about money for the last couple of meetings. I don't think we're in a position to change. We may not be in a position to change this year's order because we want to get, talking to the committee, get it together and gave it to you and all that. But if I did my math right, based on the calculations I had, we're spending almost 10 or 12 bucks a kid on stuff. And that stuff includes, of course, the plastic hats, which everybody's always done, bicycle bottle, a backpack, happy dog safety kit, whatever that is, keychain, and then a custom pencil bag. And those items are relatively inexpensive in and of themselves. But when you start, $2.92, $3.32, $1.25, 78 cents, $2.08. You start adding them up, we're up at $10 or $12 a kid. So I think we need to take a close look at that moving forward, because I know in my household, I have 2 kids, and we talk to others that, when that stuff comes home, where does it usually go? Is it really used, or is it went in the garbage? So I really think that that's one of the areas, that we need to take a look at. If the fire companies want to help fund some of this to buy a lot of extra stuff, I wouldn't oppose that. Although we've tried to track them out of the business of having to provide the fire prevention stuff. I just don't think we need to every year outdo what we did last year. And do more than what we did last year. We gotta buy one more thing than what we did last year, because it's getting expensive, especially the number of kids are going up and the stuff we're buying is going up. The cost of what we're buying is going up. And then the number of things we're going up. So we're exponentially adding to the cost 3 ways. So it gets expensive to do it. So I just want you to think about that anybody else want to comment on it?
Like I said last month, it's basically 12% of your guys' budget. Traditionally it was usually about $3,500 a department. All the years I did it, and even the last couple of years, as long as you're aware that this can't cut into a gas meter or something down at the end of the year, it's $8,000 and increases that over 4,000.
Yeah, and these aren't programmatic things that are necessary for the delivery of a fire prevention message. These are, it's not like a coloring book that you're going to sit with the 3rd graders and talk about and have them color in the picture on page 3 while you're talking about why they don't reach up on the stove.
It's definitely important regardless. I ran for many years, 13 plus years. And we have good programs here. It's definitely an important thing to do. Just sharpen a pencil maybe or something. Like I said, did the free was like about 15 minutes. I know they had a couple things, but couple $1,000s for a similar quantity of stuff.
Anybody else? And Adam, it's your report. Any comment on that or just take it into consideration?
The committee that I have has been in place for many years. This is what they brought to me.
Yep.
We have a significant number of facilities and kids, not to mention tour groups that come through the Weyersville Fire Station throughout the year. This year, we picked up Camp Scully. Town Summer Camp wants us to participate for next year. So this is not just the week in October. So.
This is a year supply, I get it.
You know, go throughout the year. Yeah, there's a lot of money there, but it goes out. So-
Yeah, I think my point was more, these aren't really totally new facilities, but I get what you're saying, but just as long as you guys are aware.
Yeah, I'll bring it back to their attention.
Well, it's gotta get ordered.
We got to order this. I
It's too
don't
late.
doubt in my mind.
Take it
We
back.
got to act on their orders. And that's this way, this way we know we'll have the stuff in time for fire prevention week. But I just want to think about it moving forward. That, I mean, we're sucking down 10% of the discretionary budget for the chief to spend. We're sucking down 10% of it.
When we've had our chiefs meeting for the year, we've discussed this, and this has been already well known amongst the 6 chiefs, that this money's allocated towards fire prevention supplies.
Okay.
You agree, chief?
Anything else on your report?
So the Vandermolen saga continues with the repairs of trucks. We did have the technician in both last week and hopefully again this week, taking care of the hit items. They did credit us on the AM/FM antenna on 427. That's been an issue since that truck was delivered. So I discussed that in detail with Mr. Bowensteel today, and I believe Mr. Durivage, you got correspondence that was zeroed. So as far as that goes, we should be in good shape there. I did speak to Mr. Oliver regarding the Alpine software, getting that in place. He's been working with Ms. Mountaineer, and also Mr. Durivage has been tracking that status. So other than that, that's all I really have.
Any questions for the chief? Okay, William, Freesville's report, please.
Bonnie sent in a report. July was one of the busier months, obviously. Of course, it always seems like it's really hot out whenever you get big. So, just to make the Board of Fire Commissioners aware, the FAST class will be posted here at Freesville late October. We don't have a firm date yet, just to make you guys aware of the facility. Do you want me to fill out a form or?
So fireman activity, I don't think there's a need for a form for that. We built a place for it.
Okay. So just to make you guys aware. Structure fire in North Road over in Wyandotte went very well. Good turnout from both departments. Fire got knocked down really quickly. Good working with Wyandotte and between Wyandotte and Freesville. Everything went very smooth. Had a meeting with the sewage treatment plant. So we're hopefully having a walkthrough in September. And we're looking to get a Knox box installed down there, so that we still got to follow up with them about the Knox box and other things like that, but we kind of made them aware that'd be more of the helpful thing to have in their facility with maps and stuff like that.
Binder size box.
Yeah, binder size box. So we have a general layout of that facility. So, and Assistant Chief Sheehan should be reaching out to Lance, so also that was, have you been and also, because that's a funky little place down there. So
You can have it all by yourself. We'll stay up here.
Addressing some issues with Rensselaer County in regards to dispatching and just information getting broadcasted out to the membership, which causes some issues with unknown responses. With the respond when we get a report service call, what's the service calls, a cat stuck in a tree, or is the power lines are being down the street, what are we going to take? So that there's a few other issues in between that we're also addressing also. So
We had that last night with an Alpha traffic accident that they never told us whether there was any PI or not. And you know that changes the response guide whether there's PI or not. So we were like,
yeah, since the new EMD protocol came out, and now alphas are a little more prevalent. than what it used to be was the Bravo. They always redo the EMD, I think, once every year or two. But it seems like Preston County's been pumping out alpha traffic accidents quite a bit. Since the EMD's been updated, so that's why we end up just having our apparatus respond to emergency mode, because we show up where it's in reality what used to be a Bravo with, car parts everywhere and multiple patients, and it just ended up turning into events. So there's some things the county can't help with how EMD goes, because that's the,
Is what it is.
it is what it is, and they have to follow their procedures, but like I said, there's other issues that are going on that we'll be addressing with the county. And just to wrap up, we had a rescue in the tech park, which I'm sure most of you guys knew about. So it was us, Wine and Skill, and Des Luther. So all went well. We only had one injury, unfortunately, with one of our members, but he's doing well and is back in service. So, but we're having a meeting with the town in regards to tech park and in regards to labeling the trail, with the town, the tech park in regards to labeling the trails. Doing something a little bit better for that area that we were down in, just because there was, the signage should have been a little more prominent. Make us know where this person is.
Cool.
That's the end of my report.
No, I have a question for fire prevention. So
Yep, fire prevention.
we have got a request, Rachel got a request for $4,063.50 for their fire prevention needs. So that's here for a fact. We're no other purchases for the chiefs, so we got these two purchase requests for the necessary stuff that we'll look at them on in the Dropbox. Consider a resolution for these. Nick makes a resolution. Chris seconds it. Any further discussion on it? Roll call vote, please.
Rich,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Chris.
Aye. We're all set on that. I'll get these signed and back over to you, Bob.
Thank you.
So you guys are all set on your expenditures. Standing committee reports, apparatus, equipment, and needs committee. Chris, you got anything? I think we beat it. I think we beat it to death what we did with the utility 9 and the long range plan. Building and grounds.
Just August 15th, the Silk Coating Company is going to be starting here at the Freesville. Your phone number was passed along, so we can get the apparatus moved accordingly. It's going to be 2 days here. Wine Skills also was made, but we're only doing the lower half of the inland sky. Bob's already talked to them over there and got it all figured out on who's doing what,
Who's paying for what?
Yeah, obviously our cost is gonna be a lot lower than theirs, because it's only a 30-foot section going down the road and a 40-foot section, so. And brought to my attention that looks like the windows at both stations could probably use a little detailing, nice little clean up. And if we can get some quotes or anything on that.
You do that every year too, yeah.
Yep, that's pretty good annual. That's it.
Brian, anything?
The terms covered it. We had a service call for the RT get locked out. I think that's happened a couple times here.
They're coming tomorrow again.
District personnel, Dan's not here, Brian, anything on that? Paying them, so everything will be going pretty good. Finance and insurance. Okay. Nothing? Long range planning, we beat that to death. Anything else on that, guys? Covered that pretty well. Procedures, policies, membership. We got 2 members that. Slide down and get down. We got 2 members. I thought you were gonna say something. Wait, no. You wait, look. We got Robert French, no relation. Rejoining YSL after being away for a number of years. And Andrew Relicki joining DeFreestville. Looks like a younger guy. I can gather there. Consider approval of one or both. Make a motion to approve both. Okay, motion made, motion seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Cool. Oh,
Policies. At some point, Nick, we probably got to meet with Chief Littlefield. A few months ago, we talked about doing like a code 100 policy and stuff. Summer, so maybe we'll get together and start banging something out there.
yeah, that's a good idea.
I saw some on my desk the other day, it works.
Oh, yeah. Anything else? What's that? Nick, Brian? Presidents, chiefs? No, what's that? Special,
Rich,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
for the LoSAP stuff, Wyansville was short some members' statements that came out.
Do you know who, or do you know what the?
There's a list of them. Tiffany has them. I think she shared them with Sean.
Yeah, we responded to that. Those are the people that are already collecting. They don't get a summary report. Yeah, and I responded back to Tiff.
Okay.
So she's all set.
Because we had some different names.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the,
Paper stuff together.
if they're getting post entitlement, then they're not gonna get a summary.
Anything else on that? Special committees, business operations and technology. Nick, anything? Haven't heard of any technology complaints other than the 5G service all over town being terrible. So I know that's not directly us, but it impacts us.
You know, are we gonna think about, continue the iPad, the other apparatus, and get them?
Something we should look at and think about. That's something, and I think we'd have to defer to the chiefs for recommendation. I don't know if we want to run out and buy however many iPads we need to put one in every other truck.
Right now, so you like the main, like 9.6 here, which one doesn't have one, it's Russian.
Yeah.
Truck doesn't have one, right? Truck.
The truck. Yeah.
Maybe two more, but maybe figure them into next year's budget as we plan next year's budget, something like that.
With the committee that was going through the iPad stuff, we were hoping to get the initial 4 online, which we have more from Mr. Durivage to get the right accounts and all that stuff kind of set. So I'd say that's a next year then.
So the rest of them online.
Okay, so keep that in mind as we move into the budget prep and see where we can squeeze those nickels out of the process. Development plan review. Brian, Nick, anything to surprise us with?
Nothing really knows. There's some, 2 letters we sent out, so that's road, or the only thing I was building a fence around the old parking lot, the old Freesville station, so people walk through the parking lot.
You're building a fence around.
They're gonna fence off our old parking lot over there, because they're finding residents from like Oak Hill are just coming through and they're working.
From Cumberland and what have you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're gonna fence that off also.
People have always walked through there when there's a firehouse, volunteer firehouse, in the area.
Quiet.
That one's good. Firematic operations. I don't have anything additional. Chris, you got anything? One thing that we need to take an action on that I missed as we shuffled through papers and I found it underneath the members' applications was a building use form for the Freesville for on the 20th of August for the use of the pavilion from 4 to 7. Pardon? Bob, is the work gonna be done out there?
Will be.
We're on target for next Saturday. That's the big day next Saturday. So consider motion to approve the
I'll make a motion.
motion made by Nick, seconded by Chris. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so that's approved. Sign that everywhere. Which takes us back to the public session. Anybody bring anything up on the public session? Going once. Okay, David?
One thing, you may want to look at the weeds again, and the trees that were cut down a few years ago. They're climbing over the top of the bank again, and
We, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we brought that up last month. I believe they're waiting on the, it's in the minutes.
Yeah.
The committee over there is gonna look at it.
Waiting on to see what happens with the
With the
building.
work,
If there's work being done next year on that hillside, there's no sense of wasting, thousands of dollars. So Ed advised us to hold off to see what
it's
happens.
probably gonna be something you have to spray or something, because it's just unbearable, whatever it is.
And the ambulance also wants to do some removal there too, I know. And we were looking to join those two projects, and the cost savings to both of us. Joe, you have more on that?
Yeah, I think when we went there, when we had them got there the other day, they were looking for that pins again. And I don't know if you guys did get a hold of, I know Dickinson is out of.
Safe travel.
Dickinson is out of business for the surveying business, and I don't know if there's a follow-up to that. Because Ed did ask me about this survey.
I thought we had the survey all squared up.
We do, and we will get Ed a copy. We got 3 certified copies. We'll get Ed a copy and then have him scan it and give us back the original.
Maybe you just relay that
I'll-
information.
I'll get that from Sean. I'll get an original from Sean and then pass it along to Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for bringing that up.
And the other thing is that we got our copy of written service that we purchased for the fire department, and it seems to be working fine.
Fire company or the district one?
Fire department one,
Okay.
but it will show up on the network as one WFD copier,
Okay,
and that's in our new.
cool. Anybody else have anything under public session? No? Consider a motion to adjourn. Okay, seconded, third, fourth? Any discussion on that? All in favor? Aye. We're out of here, folks. Thank you. Yeah. Start up open this late? 8:04. Roll the stuff. Good job, guys.
Sean's got a beard in hand.
Pardon?
Sean's got a beard in hand.
Sure, yeah, we're showing out a beer in his hand. It's 7 o'clock. Joel is